The island sprung a leak. Run!
There are many spectacular rewards that a crate could contain. You can view this excellent selection by previewing a crate. Make a selection to reveal your rewards. This one wishes you great luck. An excellent selection. Magnificent! There are many wonderful rewards. May luck follow you.
First, the Queen issues a decree that changes the status of Somerset from an isolated paradise into a tourist attraction. Now monsters, sea creatures, I've never seen anything like them. Well, I say let the cat fight them. Better him than me. Suddenly the ground opened, spewing water and strange creatures. They attacked us. Luckily, one of the newcomers, a Khajiit, leaped in and drove them back. Called himself Razumdar. He could probably use some help if you're so inclined.
I get a lot of robed customers. Not sure what organization they're from, but I don't much mind, as long as their gold is good.
Have you ever seen such creatures? Raz has not. Probably neither have you. You are a newcomer, yes? New to this island of high elves? This one has an eye for such things. And you look capable. So can Raz interest you in some cloak and dagger work? Ominous? No, nothing of the sort. Well, maybe a little of the sort. Depends on how things develop. Raz has come to Somerset at the behest of Queen Irene to make sure her decree regarding the opening of the island proceeds as she directed. Ask some questions, determine the mood in Shimmerin, and see how the newcomers are faring. Rumors have reached the Queen, and she is concerned. So Razumdar comes to see what is happening and fight strange creatures. Now Raz is concerned as well. While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. It may or may not involve scratching and clawing. Let's meet near the entrance to Shimmerin when you have something to report. Raz never saw such monsters in his life. They appear related to water, but this one tends to avoid this stuff. That pearl, though, Raz swears it was calling those creatures. A mystery for another time, perhaps. Now, we need to see to the newcomers. As a matter of fact, Raz made a list. Old Newell, a high elf artisan, spoke out. See what she complained about. Then there's Soxolza, a persecuted Argonian newcomer. Finally, Ranuel, a city resident noted in the Divine Prosecution's observation log. Old Newell complained about it. No. Raz doesn't want to prejudice your investigation. You will find out when you talk to her. The artists like to gather shells along the eastern coast. She uses them to make paints and dyes. True, not enough syllables. Ranul's a Redguard, whose family has lived in Shimmerin for generations. He's a well-respected trader, with a few warehouses along the docks. Talk to him before the Divine Prosecution decides to arrest him. The Divine Prosecution serves as lawkeepers and protectors of social standards. Very persnickety. When rules are broken, they record it in their observation logs. If your name winds up on their list, things get complicated. Something to do with monks and newcomer registration. Raz is looking into that. Last I heard, Soxolza was seen leaving the city and heading west. Probably trying to reach the water. Lizards like water, yes? Not Raz. Ugh. Raz hates the wet stuff.
find your own patch of beach. Not that you'd understand the concept, but the path to Alaxon requires dedication and complete concentration. I must find the perfect shells, or my pigments will be substandard. And do you know what that will do to my art? Exactly. An ultimate concept practiced widely here in Somerset. Alaxon is the state of perfection that every high elf strives for. The path to Alaxon represents the approach we take to achieve that state. Now, why have you interrupted my work? I believe in caution as much as the next high elf, but sometimes the rules get in the way of common sense. My apprentice lived here for more than a year. Good help is so hard to find, especially among the newcomers. And she was adept at making dyes. They took her away. Said they had to scrutinize her qualifications, test her knowledge of culture and etiquette. But I haven't seen her since. My work suffers, so of course I complained to the monks. Now I have to gather my own shells. They told me I could fill out some forms and appeal to the kin lady. But who has time for such bureaucracy? And for a wood elf? I've said too much. I have work to do, and all this aggravation has diverted my path to Alaxon. Perfection requires constant vigilance, so back to it.
C'est vrai qu'il y a... Ça va? Déstabilise pas trop, hein, pour rester vraiment un parfait résultat. Et là, monsieur Desmarais, alors la barre est tout en cric. Cette semaine, combien de cartons? Beaucoup de cartons. Vous savez, maintenant, une semaine sans sanctions. Mauvaise semaine, heureusement. La barre est là. Et parmi nos victimes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Mitroglou, encore Yann Bodiger, entre nous.
What do you want?
A fascinating application of the... Welcome. Are you here on Mage's Guild business? Yes, of course. We're lawkeepers across the face of Tamriel. Guild members seek out books, tomes, and ancient scrolls in their travels. Why don't you speak with me for a moment? Perhaps you'd like to join. Always good to speak with another knowledge seeker. Guildmaster Vanus will be pleased. We're book hunters of a sort. We seek out new information, capture it in our libraries, and make copies for distribution across Tamriel. The Guild doesn't care about battlefields or boundaries, just knowledge and the acquisition of new tomes. We provide training in unique spells and abilities only available to members. And from time to time, projects crop up for those with an adventuresome spirit. You may end up working with the Guildmaster himself. Vanus Galerian, one of the founding members of this august body, still holds the proud title of Guildmaster, overseeing every guild hall in Tamriel. He works with other ranking members, such as Tellinger, the Artificer, to ensure our future success. We are neutral in the war between the three alliances. When we're on guild business, we kneel to no king or queen. That's why you'll see members of every race in our halls. Excellent. You are now a student of the Mages Guild. Every book you find will now earn you reputation in the guild.
Next time I'm in the field, I think I'll bring... Welcome to our hall. Are you familiar with the guild? The Fighters Guild. You should consider joining up. We have a new guildmaster and a new singular purpose. Why don't we talk for a moment? Excellent. I know we'll all be drawing blades together soon enough. Now, what can I tell you? Excellent. Right. Our new guildmaster is an Argonian, sees all colors. She has us all hunting down the Daedra and their damned anchors. You might have seen them. Enormous chains, plagues of Daedra boil out to lay waste to the countryside. Hard fights. Ha! There's a good question. We train our members in special techniques. And the higher-ups are always looking for motivated members to help with special projects. You never know, you might be the next Yofnir. Guildmaster Yofnir passed away recently, very suddenly. I always thought he'd die with a blade in his hand. But he passed away in his sleep, called to Sovngarde by his ancestors. We all miss him, but Colors has proven to be a very able leader. Then let me be the first to officially welcome you as an associate of the Fighters Guild. Get out there and take the fight to the Daedra.
Steal from me? Away with you! to help out a poor soul.
A newcomer? In the warehouse district? Unusual. But how can I help you today, my friend? The Divine? Who told you that? If a Justiciar sent you to try and trick me into confessing... No. The High Elves would never send a newcomer to perform such a task. But I admit it. I made my thoughts known. I arranged to bring my cousin here to work with me. The ship arrived, but all the newcomers were carted away. For questioning, they said. I complained to the kin lady and anyone else who would listen. And what has it gotten me? Nothing! Oh, my family has been here for generations and generations. Before the Queen's decree, outsiders might have been rare, but we were not unheard of. Our business has grown and gets better every day. That's why I sent for my cousin. We need the help. Somerset is a rare and beautiful jewel in the Abetian Sea. I love it here. The High Elves treat us like children, but they have never been hostile. The Queen's decree has stirred the waters, though. I fear it will get worse before it gets better.
This is unheard of. Why have you closed the monastery?
Such anger. Raz never expected to hear such words from the Queen's loyal subjects. The sentiment isn't universal, but enough feel this way for Raz to be concerned. Did you learn anything interesting from the people I sent you to talk to?
While we ascertain their suitability for Ultima society.
Sequestered, Just a different word for imprisoned, yes. Ranul's cousin just arrived, but Old Newell's assistant has lived on Somerset since long before the Queen ever issued her decree. What about the lizard? What did Soxolza have to say? Why would the Aldar gather up newcomers and non-High Elf residents alike and send them to the monastery? Does the kin lady condone this behavior? Raz's head itches, and not in a good way. Our course is clear, Five Claw. We must go to the monastery. Raz admires your enthusiasm, but this one needs you to enter the monastery on your own. Raz has other fish to catch. This one will help you get past the sentry, though. When you notice that the sentry is distracted, just sleep quietly inside.
What?
Mara, help me. An adventurer? Oh, praise you, Mara, for hearing my prayers. Please, newcomer, I'm desperate for help. My son, Arathel, has gone missing. No one will tell me what happened to him. Yes, I'm sorry. The last time I saw him, he was agitated, scared. I asked him what was wrong, but he left without a word. The guards arrived later. They said he turned himself in, that he was involved in a plot to kill our sapiarch, Icantar. No, he vanished. They say he escaped. Can you believe it? Why would he turn himself in only to escape a few hours later? They're hiding something, I know it. Please, Caraval, help me find my boy. He would never hurt anyone. I swear it. You have a perfect heart, newcomer. None of my neighbors would lift a finger to help me. The guards placed Arathel in a cell beneath the Kin Lady's manor. I'm told the Justiciar of Remand is there now, a mer named Telerion. He must know something. No, Icantar treats us like family. Arathel is Icantar's apprentice, you see. He was so proud when the attestation came through. He's been a bit withdrawn, though. I found some Aprax literature in his room. But it's just a phase, right? Right. You're new to the Isle. I apologize. Apraxic Mer are people who, for whatever reason, were expelled from the greater elven community. Most Aprax labor for years to re-enter society. Others choose to remain in exile. I feel very sorry for them. Some do, yes. Treatises on class warfare, religious hypocrisy, that sort of thing. A lot of young Mer take a liking to it. I think it's healthy to push back a bit. Not too much, of course, but a bit. Rumor has it that a famous Aprax called the Mother of Rats lives in the city, but I've never met her. And even if I did, we're forbidden from speaking with her. Oh, that sounds awful, doesn't it? It's just the way things are here, I'm afraid.
You there! I have a... Damn it! Why won't this...
Did you see a golden light?
I have no idea what that was, and I'm not sure I want to know.
This manor is closed by order of the Divine Prosecution, so I'll keep this brief. Who are you, and what do you want? Aye, Surabane's ring, will I never be rid of that hen? Look, turning away grieving mothers brings me no satisfaction, but this situation is delicate. The Divine Prosecution does not lose prisoners. Ever. Certainly not frightened children like Arathel. Not here, clearly. You really do mean to track him down, don't you? Fine. When we took Arathel into custody, he was only carrying a handful of coin, a tin flute, and some kind of crude map. Our draftsman drew up a few copies for distribution to the bailiffs. They're stacked upstairs near the hearth. You can take one if you wish, with this condition. If you find something, you will bring it to my attention, immediately. It seems he escaped into the vaulted Halsoriel. The sewer. Gods, what a hideous word. Anyway, he had help. That gaping hole in the wall is obviously quite new. Might have been a conventional explosion or some kind of arcane rupture. We won't know until the revelators examine the scene. So you would ask my name without offering your own? No, don't bother. I've grown to expect these clumsy troglodytic introductions. I am Telerion, Justiciar of Remand. I oversee all matters related to bonds and incarceration here in Shimmerine. Spilling wine on your vest at a dinner party is embarrassing. This is Frankly, there isn't a word in the common tongue for this. It is Braxiferas. Disgraceful on a scale you outsiders can't even imagine. That's a matter for the High Justiciar and the Sapiarchs. My only concern is returning him to custody. And time is of the essence, so please, be on your way. It seems he escaped into the vaulted Halsoriel.
Sentry! Raz owes you for that game of cards and has come to pay.
Well, I don't recall any... You say I won some gold?
Don't you remember? Raz always pays his debts, and he always buys the drinks.
No, not now, please. Your spiritual well-being can wait until after my nap. You'll have to ask one of the monks that the new Aldork brought with him. They deal with all the newcomer testing and evaluations. I'm just a simple monk trying to catch up on my sleep. That was a hint, by the way. Aldork Tilkala arrived right after the Queen issued her decree. He came highly recommended by King Lady Avanice, or so I heard. It's not unusual for monks to form attachments and move together, but there's something strange about that bunch. The Aldork and his monks keep to themselves. They've taken the Undercroft for their own purposes and ordered the rest of us to avoid the ancient vaults beneath the monastery. Now, please, let me get back to my nap. Again with the questions about the newcomers. Why do you care about the complexities of Altma bureaucracy? Still, if I had to make a guess, I'd say they were taking into the Undercroft for registration and processing. Now go away. Aldork Tilkala arrived right after the Queen issued her decree. He came highly recommended by King Lady Avanice, or so I heard. It's not unusual for monks to form attachments and move together, but there's something strange about that bunch. The Aldork and his monks keep to themselves. They've taken the Undercroft for their own purposes and ordered the rest of us to avoid the ancient vaults beneath the monastery. Now, please, let me get back to my nap. No, not now, please. You'll have to ask one of the monks. Again with the questions about... The monastery should be a place of peace and meditation. The Aldork has closed us down until further notice. That means if any of the monks spot you, they'll raise the alarm. Me? I never saw you. Now, if you don't mind, my nap awaits.
Office, wouldn't you agree? I noticed you skulking around while I was engaged in some skulking of my own. I suppose we both came to the monastery with a similar purpose in mind. The sequestered newcomers. I came to find out what happened to a friend. I assume that's what brought you here as well? A house of worship shouldn't be used as an internment camp, and it shouldn't be locked to the public either. Interesting. I've never seen anything quite like it. I find it intriguing and a bit disturbing. But we aren't here to discuss curios. Strange creatures notwithstanding, we need to find out what's happening with the missing newcomers. The sentry doesn't appear to have stopped you, so I could ask you the same question. Let's just agree that we both have our methods. Curious, but I feel that there's more going on in Shimmerine than the usual politics and community relations. That's the question, my cautious friend. We have a newly appointed Aldork and a disgruntled kin lady, both opposed to the Queen's decree. What's their connection to the missing newcomers? I was about to explore the Undercroft. Care to join me? A curious pearl. I wonder where the Aldork acquired it. Probably not important. I'll meet you in the Undercroft, and we can see what's going on with the newcomers.
You've got to the count of 3 to leave. 1...
Something's wrong down here. I sense magic. Vile magic. Cages? These people did nothing to deserve such treatment. There's someone alive over there. See if you can help her.
Thank the Divines! You aren't one of the monks. Please, let me out of here. It's a nightmare. We came to Somerset to seek new opportunities. We barely stepped off the ship when they marched us to the monastery. Instead of questioning us or the usual high elf bureaucracy, they locked us in these cages. The monks gathered them a few moments ago and took them through the door on the far side of the chamber. Please, let me out of here before they take me away like the others.
Is that a scoffin?
Oh, thank you for setting me free.
A Daedra? Here? And that's a Scoffin, if I remember my Daedric recitations correctly. Very curious. An excellent question, and one I hope to find the answer to. From the evidence before us, it appears this Nord killed the Scoffin before he succumbed to his own wounds. Good for him. I found this key on the creature's belt, so we can open that door. Then I suggest we pick up the pace. We need to determine what's actually happening down here, and who's behind all this. Without answers to those questions, we won't be able to decide on our best course of action. I'll explain everything later. For now, we need to hurry.
More newcomers? Unfortunately, the magic only affects those who have been prepared. But never fear.
Daedric
Your
cultists?
turn will come.
I'll deal with them. You hold on to these creatures. The Pearl's magic attracts these creatures. Hold them off while I complete my spell. Come on, let's talk outside. Those poor people. This wasn't just about newcomers and opposing the Queen's decree. That was Daedric magic back there. I just wish we had arrived a few moments earlier. I promised to explain what I know. I suppose that now's as good a time as any. I'm a member of the Psijic Order. Our Right Master sent me to investigate a warning we received about a plot involving Somerset. My inquiries led me here. The Psijic Order is an ancient magical monastic society. We served as advisors to the rulers of Tamriel, but that was before we removed our island home from the world. Now this threat has drawn us back. But why are you involved in all of this? An Eye of the Queen? Interesting. I diffused the Daedric magic and transported the pearl to Artaeum, the Psijic island, for safekeeping and study, so we can learn more about it. But we can discuss this further once we get out of here. Living on Arteum for a few centuries doesn't prepare you for physical activity. Let the Eye of the Queen know what we discovered, and I'll catch up with you later.
Ah, this one's new partner returns. What interesting scandal did you uncover in the monastery? Tell Raz every juicy detail. That isn't the kind of scandal Raz was hoping for. Murder, Daedric rituals, and traitorous behavior have a way of ruining an otherwise perfect day. We need to learn the extent of the Kin Lady's involvement, and by we, Raz means you. Accuse? Not exactly. Raz wants you to talk to her, see what she knows about the Oldar. The Kin Lady is meeting with local leaders. Attend that meeting and learn the truth. This invitation and set of elegant clothes will get you through the door. A Sijik? Raz has heard rumors, but there are always rumors about the Sijiks. For an island of sages who disappeared more than 300 years ago, they certainly seem to get around. Did this Sijik mage say what the Order was investigating? There was a life-sucking pearl. You should probably have led with that bit of information. Well, we can worry about the Sijik mage and figure out where these pearls came from later. For now, go see what the Kin Lady has to say. Kin Lady Avanice and Raz do not get along. You see, there was a horse, a platter of pudding tarts, and... No. This one won't bore you with the sordid details. Besides, everyone behaves well when they see Raz. You will learn more than I would.
Through his mercy and his might, he stopped the Thracian plague. He knew war was the goal.
Queen Irene promised we'd fall in love with the sky and the sea. She said that her people would be kind and accepting. This one hasn't heard that many lies since she watched a performance by the House of Reveries. Sorry. Just feeling down. Ah, for that one you must go upstairs. The hooded man will have what you seek. Good luck, Walker.
I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm working. So, jog on. It didn't instruct you to do anything. That note was meant for someone else. Of course, you already know that. So, should I reach for my knife, or are we going to make nice? Huh. So, Talarian and his lackeys haven't found him either, huh? Color me surprised. I tried to help the kid, but if he didn't even find my note, he's in worse trouble than I thought. You carry yourself well. Maybe Mother can use you. Yeah, the Mother of Rats is our matriarch. She shelters us outcasts and misfits. Loves us, even. In her way. If you aim to help Arethel, she'll want to meet you first. There's an entrance to the sewers down by the docks. Just follow the rats. Name's Edgar Jend. Professional misfit, ne'er-do-well, and sometimes hatchet man. Mother sends me out to collect lost things. And people. I've got to tell you, this whole Arethel thing, it's giving me indigestion. I have a delicate constitution. That's a question for Mother. Speaking of which, you should be on your way.
In Somerset, oh Somerset, our fair and pretty land is threatened from beyond the clear and shining sea. The Welkin our Griffin Knights, take wing and make a stand. With courage, strength, and bravery, they keep the Altmer free. Charge, O Griffin Knights, fly on and fight our foes. Charge, O Welkin, take wing with swords and bows, swords and bows. From Alinor to Shimmerine and every point between, the Welkin ride the winds and defend our gleaming isle, whether commoner or noble or merchant or queen. The Griffin Knights protect us all, always with a smile. Charge, O Griffin Knights, fly on and fight our foes. Charge, O Welkin, take wing with swords and bows, swords and bows. Charge, O Griffin Knights, fly on and fight our foes. Charge, O Welkin, take wing with swords and bows. Listen round, I've a warning to sound about an overgrown weed. I don't mean to forebode, but this little ode is a lesson you best heed. Now a story unfolds upon a pitiful mold. 'Twas made to thrive on rot. This unsightly staff was a trickster's last laugh, long after his battle was fought. The sundering, if you were wondering, when the heavens dropped out of the sky, they hit with a thud and gave birth to the mud, making up this mortal sty. was a hell of a mess, but I digress. My story's about the swine. What took root in this land were seeds called man that sprung up like fungus from grime. Their lives may be short and lacking import, but keep an eye to their blundering. It's tempting to jest about this simple pest. That's until you've seen their plundering. Oh, when men bound to the doom drum sound, you'll learn what the corpse god wrought. Trinny Mac didn't know with his final blow just how badly he'd been caught. I don't mean to forebode, but this little ode is a lesson you best heed. Gather round and hear the tale of Archmage Sirabane. Through his mercy and his might, he stopped the Thracian plague. He knew war was the only way. So he called for aid all throughout the land. Oh, Sirabane, oh, Sirabane, ye myrrh of godly fate. Oh, Sirabane, the youngest of the age. Man and Myrrh took up the call. They knew they could not fail. Together they combined their might. The All-Flags Navy sailed with Bendu-Olo at his side, slinging sword and spell. He beat back the tide, the Coral Kingdom fell. Oh, Sirabane, oh, Sirabane, ye Mer of godly fate. Oh, Sirabane, oh, Sirabane, the youngest of the age. Now, good Mer, remember well the tale of Sirabane. For when dark times came to pass, he knew to ask for aid. Oh, Sirabane. Mara, O goddess of love, bless us with children, our mother above. Praise we know Xerxes, who transcribes our story. Honor the scrivener, archivist of glory. Clap hands in praise, exalt the divine. Clap hands and praise our ancestral line, our line. Fay. God of the forest, Earthbone showed the way. Praise we now stand up, apologist of men, Lord of compassion for the lesser of care. Clap hands in praise, exalt the divine. Clap hands and praise our ancestral lines, our lines. Last praise Ariel, forefather of all, formed us to be like him, wise, noble, and tall. Clap hands in praise, exalt the divine. Clap hands and praise our ancestral lines. When Somerset, oh Somerset, our fair and pretty land, is threatened from beyond the clear and shining sea, the Welkinar, our Griffin knights, take wing and make a stand. With courage, strength, and bravery, they keep the Altmer free. Charge, O Griffin knights, fly on and fight our foes. Charge, O Welkinar, take wing with swords and bows, swords and bows. From Alinor to Shimmering and every point between, the Welkinar ride the winds and defend our gleaming isle, whether commoner or noble or merchant or queen, the Griffin Knights protect us all, always with a smile. Charge, O Griffin Knights, fly on and fight our foes. Charge, O Welkener, take wing with swords and bows, swords and bows. Charge, O Griffin Knights, fly on and fight our foes. Charge, O Welkener, take wing with swords and bows. Eyes polished amber, hair swept like a comet, alive with love and joy under break.